Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm Gnomes and this is live streaming on rig type melt rig tutorial that I'm trying to reproduce here. I'm nearly successful. I think I'm finally, by reading everything and developing the documentation, hold on. It's the universal sonic melt rig. Okay, so just resuming the idea if you're new here. So Kamau, there's this post here very many years ago, 2021, and it's very interesting for cartoon melt rig because perhaps even other cartoony things. We have the melt that can like float on top of the yeah, the melt could be here, yeah, so you got the idea. So there's also this video here, yeah, so this I showed already, so I can, there's no sound here, but the idea. Okay, that's the idea, folks. So universal sonic melt rig, here's the file. It's free, all the documentation is free and accessible. It's a bit hard for beginners, I think, because I'm myself, by seeing all that, yeah, it's not like the conventional tutorial stuff step by step, so there's some piece of information which are here and there, but if we integrate everything with a little patience, it's good to, it's very well documented actually. So here especially the file is very cool, so the ideas, the concepts are great in this thing, and now I'm starting to understand. So I'm working on part 2, because in the beginning we're starting to build this from scratch, right? And right now, hold on, let me simplify here my workspace. So I have the chat here at the right. Okay, so if you guys have anything to say, feel free. So I'm working on here. Where I've stopped last time is because I didn't have these I didn't have the cheekbones, the muzzle. The muzzle is the part here that excludes the mouth, so it's all that, including the nose ridge, the cheeks, the chin, everything here. So the face basically in this model. So what we need here is to get the we want to, I've already wave painted according to the specifications. Yeah, I know rigging, so I don't need to follow exactly, but I'm trying to follow more closely to see how this will turn out to be. So this is cool, right? These bones, often I get them displaced. I got like click outside and lose the wave paint. No, I think I was clicking on another object, that's why. Maybe it's not. Oh, maybe it's lock object mode that was causing that anyway. So let's. They were unlocked for me. So here, and this is annoying because, okay, anyways, I was always losing my mode here, the wave paint mode. So I've already wave painted these lips things, right? Those that control the mouth contour. These would be the. I see there's extra bones here. Yeah, oh, maybe this is just a control bone for the. So the mouth position, actually the mouth. Okay, I cannot do this bone selection in. Okay, so the mouth position is a control bone which do not hold. Well, it's a deformed bone. Let's see if it got any weight. So I see there's more bones than I've made. So yeah, so we have this wave paint, so it's sort of across, not touching the. Actually, let me do some configuration here, folks. So this I already read, so I'm not gonna bother with this anymore. I think it's just this. Already did that on the last stream, so we're building from scratch, right? Very long stream, don't watch it just for jumping steps, unless you really are unfamiliar with everything. I've gone through every single thing analyze the stuff, so it takes time, right? But yeah, this on the tutorial, right, that I've made is just streaming trying to understand each bit of the thing, and of course it's not possible because if we go not because I mean Blender, right? So I'm concerned about, okay, there's no waves in this, and how is this called, folks? This is called, the name of this bone, it's like, hold on, these settings here are, why I have this in the top? Yeah, I need to make this more adequate to my own use. So let's do something here, overlays, active, okay. This will show then in black the area. So this is the mouth. Let's get also the bone groups here. What about bone layers? Okay, so it's all in the same bone layers apparently. So we can try to make some distinctions here actually. So for example, if I make a selection here, let's already save this tool in build draw. Okay, no, nothing. So I'm gonna save this as a variation just for the that we keep working on that, and in case it crashes or whatever. So I'll move these bones to some depth thing here for the, I think this was, no, there it is. Okay, so move them wrongly. Sorry, yeah, just to mimic the sort of the convention of Rigify. So depth here, actually depth mouth. Then we can have like these filters. I mostly don't use anything here, so just this will be nice. Alright, depth mouth. So here we can get the master, yeah, so the like the master stuff. So for example these and also the names are the bone names here. Let's save here. This will help, right? Bone names, where are the bone names? They refuse to appear. Don't these bones have names? This is very odd. This is extremely odd. Might be a version issue, or maybe it's something about here that we are not supposed to be looking. Yeah, the extras, text info. Yeah, we want to be looking at certain things here. 3D cursor, annotations, floor, no axis. I use, yeah, so that's it. Now it's better. Now I can understand. Okay, so this is the show gizmo stuff. No, it was the overlays pop-up menu. Okay, so let's continue here. I should have done that before, sorry folks. The music soundtrack here is a bit too loud for me because of property stuff. I'm not streaming music, so feel free to get your own. So it's just my voice here using headphones. So sorry, let's try to get this thing going. Alright, so I was organizing here, so we can, here already the depth bones for the mouth. Then we pick this for the, actually is a faster way, get these colors. These bones already painted, so that's great. So let's cheeks. Okay, we get here. We can move them to, yeah, perhaps here. So this is depth cheeks, muzzle, right? Actually, because they would affect different mesh objects here. Let's see what else remains. What are these teeth? Okay, this is like yeah, the mouth interior stuff. So we're gonna move this to like here, for example. So mouth depth, mouth inside, well, so we don't bother too much with actually, yeah, so we don't have to deal too much with that. Although, yeah, tongue stretch, you don't know if they are actually the deformed bones or but it's all about the, so maybe it's not depth, so it's just mouth interior stuff. Okay, we don't know yet. So okay, this is correct. Then there are here the master, which of course, so there's mouth rotation. Okay, this is for, so see what we can do here already on the I mean on the, as it is done. So but we operate this with okay, so there's a mouth position which is a shrink wrap bone constraint here. Let's say if it is done as we did, so yeah, on surface, so it's snap on surface, it's aligned to y-axis. This we've already done. It's just the mesh, it's not wave painted yet. Distance 0.0.1 nearest, this is by default, so this is okay. Let's just compare here just to be sure. So I have this would be, of course, I'm yeah, there's the wave painting, so I'm having to, let's toggle this off for a while because I didn't finish wave painting. So here the idea, and it cannot rotate in different way, so this is convenient, so I don't have to lock here. I don't have to lock yeah, I don't have to lock the bones or create bone constraints because it's already has this. Otherwise, you see, you could, it's you need to rotate like on local Y, and so roll Y, there you go. So and it's not aligned with exactly the, yeah, so this is convenient actually for the rotation. So this is something I wasn't considering. So you can do this kind of stuff, so that's quite convenient. But depending of the mesh subdivision here, yeah, it's warping, because not that we need to put the mouth there, but this is something that can occur depending on some aspects of the model. So here I can just turn on this subdivision and the shrink wrappings also. So now it should be, yeah, well, it's still warping a little, but yeah, this is because probably of the, this is also what's one thing that can happen because of this thing. So no, still happening. Okay, it happens less, so it's like okay, now maybe it's many factors, but yeah, here it's warping for some reason. Maybe it's okay, quaternion. So all right, so it's, yeah, it's okay, we don't bother that. But sometimes I think this is responsible for this, but usually this will be good enough for our developments. It's just that the curve up here is too stiff, right? The angle is too small, so it's like, although it's gradual. So let's continue here. So I need cheekbones to replicate this part, right? So I hid everything because my strategy here for wave painting the cheekbones, because this was not wave painted on the muzzle interior. Maybe we have shared waves actually. So I have two objects. So there's the, actually, where is my original? I have muzzle ghost. Was it? Oh, it's here. I need to, okay, this is not I mean, we've parented the mouth ghost to the armature apparently with yes, because we're starting wave painting, I remember next time. So see how I wave painted that just as the documentation told, and actually this will help pushing the, here we don't see because I turned off, but let's continue the wave painting. Yeah, I need the cheeks to, and then the mouth, they do that. So all these bones, if we check their multi-paint, so if we add everything together, we see the areas that contains waves. So nothing is black here, right? But here there won't be ratios. So if we put, yeah, so I'm having hard deforms yet because I'm starting to waves on pure one stuff. There are no blended waves, so that's horrible. This was why I was wave painting even on the, okay, so let's turn this on because we can, where's the, so even this is actually a deformed bone, so should not confuse. So here no bendy bones in this rig, so but the forms, and what you see is those horrible stuff happening in the mesh, but this is happening just because we need to complete the wave. So folks, we're gonna add a rest position radio button here, just binding pose, so the armature will always be on binding pose state, and so here we going to wave paint without much, yeah, we can start adding a bone right in this position. We'll just, actually, let's pick this one, let's align with this, although we might want to align it with the, let's see, the muzzles, the muzzle stuff. So yeah, they are sort of aligned with the mesh, but they don't have themselves shrink wrap bone constraint. So we could use this limit location. This is some puff cheek bone. Apparently, I think it maybe it's it use shape keys instead of deforms. We're gonna check this right now. Yes, there are shape keys. This is optional, right? I'm not sure if I'm gonna make the shape keys in this tutorial. I wasn't expecting this in the very beginning. But we'll look at each one of them. So probably this bone is the driver bone for the shape keys, and perhaps these two. The idea to use shape keys here is interesting because we don't, the muzzle, because, okay, I see why this is interesting actually, folks. This is very clever actually. Because we do not deform the muzzle, the mouth with the mouth to be moving all along in a smooth way, so that it doesn't get yeah, so it's a smooth surface, not so smooth, it's a regularly curved surface. As soon, with the subdivisions, all that, especially as soon as we get to deform the muzzle, if we were to deform it with armature deformed stuff, and shape keys aren't armature deformed, they come later or before, they come in another layer of, it's not deformations, they are transforms on the vertices. Technically, we could say deforms and transforms are basically the same thing. It's vertices moving, right, in relation to the in world space. So it's vertex transforms anyways, vertices transforming. But the way wave painting and the skinning algorithms works in Blender makes that armature deform, set parent to armature deform, right? These will lead to the skinning algorithms to take place, and then wave painting to take place in the relating to skinning algorithms. And this is not vertex deforms, transforms would be vertex deforms, so mesh deforms. While shape keys, they are more considered like morphs. They call morphs because it's easier to shape the morphs in like sculpting, right? You have absolute control with the vertex positions in workspace, but in Blender, maybe not in Maya, it's difficult to combine the shape keys like relative, which is combinable, so I can combine those shape keys, this with this, but then we don't have like this is not like a timeline, so I can, but it's very complicated. I cannot make a sequence. The vertices, they move linearly from this pose to this pose and so this is no so we cannot make an in between, a breakdown, and so this is sometimes is very very bad. And however, the absolute, when we check this off, will turn this into a timeline, and then this would be breakdown. So this, but then these are not combinable anymore. So it's like an animation from key 1 to key whatever. There's the time you can control here for this stuff, set evaluation time. Yeah, so the problem in Blender with shape keys, they need to do something about this. There are requests on this for a long time already, is that we need something to make them combine the features. This has the combining features of, so this is why it's very good for facial rigging. So that's why we don't use this very often, the absolute non-relative. So you can combine these facial expressions, right, shape keys, at any moment and any keyframe, whatever. And so this is the combinable feature of the shape keys, and this is the animation feature, the morph. So you can morph a cat into a human. You can break down this same morph in multiple. It's like animating, direct animation, right? No big deal. It's very organic, but then we cannot have both simultaneously on the same mesh object, at least. Well, and that's everything. So yeah, very complicated. So I think blend shapes in Maya don't have this problem. It's already combined by default, and I don't know why they don't combine. It will be pretty simple. You just have, well, in terms of developing, maybe not, but probably not. That's why they didn't done. But technically, it's just it's just having these, I mean these timelines stuff inside this. So this will be like a collection, like each one of the shape keys we create here, they would be an absolute thing. So this will be inside, and of course then this will have its own extra shape keys inside. So sub shape keys that serve as in between shape keys that we are sculpting, like so we don't have linear interpolation between the vertices transforms. Okay folks, so let's check this the driver here, chick. Yeah, maybe there's I want to find what is chick, but I cannot find. Big smile. Let's assess. There's no driver here, so this is actually only here, this one has driver, so they're not being driven by bones. I don't, usually they are automated. This is the bone that is affecting this, in the case if it's a bone. No, it's not a bone, it's a Sonic H. I don't know what's a mesh object. I don't know what's this. Pose, extrude, locations, pose. I don't know what properties are. I'm not familiar with this code stuff. Alright, so no, this is not the way I know about making shape keys, but yeah, we can use them like just to test like that. We can drive them later, that's fine. So you have a big U expression, then a big smile. We have pose assets here, I've already shown there. If you go on the armature, so you can combine, maybe those pose assets were made with binding the shape keys to that. anyways, we can use deforms here, so let's assess if this was correct. So yeah, so this probably is a shape key because there's no or maybe it's deforming the mesh that is behind, but this was told that this was not it was risky, but we're gonna check nonetheless. So probably not this one, but the muzzle. No, okay, so this is probably shape keys. These, as we can see, okay, mouth. So there's a nose ridge, you need to create that. There's a cheekbone, right? There's a cheek, that is puffy cheeks, which is there's a lip extrude, which is maybe this is, what does that do? Okay, so it helps doing some. Okay, this will be a perhaps some sort of kiss shape, like the simplified, right? Very stylized. Okay, and then so there's no morphs in here. Well, there is, but so what happens is that the interesting thing about that looks like, for me at least, regarding the morphs is that actually I don't need wave paint mode, sorry folks, here. Yeah, so this is something that can happen as soon as we deform this too much. The mouth gets a bit crazy because yeah, it needs to follow the orientation of the face, but yeah, but usually it works, except you just don't have to deform that too much. So and I believe if we have instead of this, okay, all the subdivisions are on. How many okay, a lot of subdivisions, and render even more. Let's see here, 1, and okay, render a bit more. All right, so this is a stack of subdivisions. This was made here to combine, to have the mesh of the face subdivide, then shrink wraps to the muzzle. So this mesh to the mouth flat is optional, is an old simplified 2D mouth. I've already shown that, and that's, so I'm not explaining, so I'm leaving this out. So just comparing those two. So, and then it resubdivides and reshrink wraps. So it's basically the same operators, is just to get it more close to the stuff. So interesting technique here, to get it more close to, but it's not required, you can just do it according to my attempts, but this could be interesting. So now we need to find, yes, I wanted to see how the mouth now relates not to mesh deforms but from these bones, but actually the shape keys. So I'm curious about this. There's a time I don't deal with the shape keys, so maybe it will be interesting. So the question is, yeah, let's use this because this will affect shape keys on both the, just remember now that in the informations there was something about enabling something that will make everything smooth, and right now I don't. Okay, I think it's the simplify stuff. Yeah, that's it. Maybe I was, so let's remake the test. So sorry about that, folks. Let's remake the test here for the cheekbone. Ah, yeah, now it's much better. So now we can avoid the horrid interpenetration. It's just that it was not ready for the, okay, so that works a very bit, but we must consider that the wave painting that this bone carries, actually it affects the muzzle, the mouth, right? But it also affects, no, not the muzzle. Well, I thought it would. Oh, it is. Okay, sorry. It was, had to re-click on this. It has the vertex paint of the other object apparently. As I switched objects, we cannot wave paint two objects simultaneously, unfortunately, so far. So you see that matches. There's nothing here. For the mouth bones, it doesn't really matter because the muzzle doesn't have mouth, as you can see, so it's regular. However, here the mouth position, yeah, it could have waves here though. Yeah, maybe it could, but it doesn't. So anyways, so we need to create this bone, these shape keys we don't create, so just 3 bones. Okay, let's go for it. And the muzzle, and then we need to share the waves, and probably delete this. Maybe maintain the one in the middle. No, let's not maintain. Let's do exactly as it is here. So I'm gonna save here again. I didn't test with the shape keys though. Last thing, folks, for our investigations here. So I wanted to see the output of the mouth going here. So yeah, it works. So even shape keys, either shape keys or, I already knew about that, it's just that the mesh was not smooth enough. So okay, and that's it. Let's go back now and let's create our own stuff here. Sorry folks. So here to start with, we'll have this. I'll call this cheek left. We are going to place it, well, I'm gonna rotate this like that and place it like somewhere like here. The alignment, yeah, I could have this alignment, and we just rotate on. Actually, I'll also want the z-axis pointing up, and we're gonna make rotation on z, something like that. Although the cheeks of this character are more like here, right? Let's redo this, realign. We could, yeah, I'm tempted to get like this is not really important for wave painting, it's more for the control rig. So the parenting here is there, but this is not mount position, so this probably should, I don't know how they are parented, folks. So first let's symmetrize, and let's also create the nose ridge. This we can use this, and this apparently, I think this bone is located somewhere, yeah, somewhere here. So I'm not sure exactly where, I'm gonna check. So nose ridge, so this will be depth. Actually, yeah, it's a depth control, same thing. So nose, because it will hold deforms, at least let's set that deforms. Actually, let's set everything here as deforms. We don't have, this is an older one, right? So let's pick this and add a, so bones, let's set name, new prefix, so def to everyone, def like that. There you go. So lip down right, lip down, okay, that's fine. Let's see now the colors here. We gonna give them some, perhaps this one, no, some, we're gonna give it even, this is okay, then we give them this color just to get them. This is def mouth, this is def muzzle, and this could also get this because this is def muzzle. Well, this is technically def mouth, so we're gonna experiment later. So we are okay. Let's leave it like that for now. We are still in the okay. So now we go back on the file. We're gonna just check the parenting here. Parenting of set to okay. There's a head bone, so no parented to the. This will be a mistake, right, folks? So parent there, cheek bone also there, and that's it. Is there a chin bone? No. And this mouth extrude is more likely okay. It's part of the mouth position, and does it? What does it do? Is it a deformed bone? Does it? I think it didn't contain wave paint, but we are going to make sure of that. We need. Yeah. The problem here is the. In wave paint mode, we cannot use alt select for bones, so this is an inconsistency in Blender. Let's, because on pose mode we can, let's just add this as a request. Hold alt for bones selection stacking in wave paint mode. That's it. We're gonna give lots of stuff. There are requests at once. Takes a bit to make a good request. Also reporting, making good bug reports, and then you need to talk with the sometimes answer to new questions that arise from the developers. Okay, so there's the lip extrude. No, it doesn't contain waves, so this is doing this by shape keys, or perhaps another bone seem to. So this, yeah, there's no wave, so the only possibility would be if that other objects are being affected by this. So no, it's, and so there's the last one here. So we get come on, yeah, we see nothing. So just curious now if I can swap the no, cannot. All right, so all right, folks, so enough with this investigation, because we achieved everything we wanted. So I'm not gonna make those exactly those other, at least until because I do not understand how they relate to the shape keys because of the drivers. Actually extrude bone, I believe it would be that one, but then yeah, there's a lip extrudes a pose bones. Yeah, so this is a bone, so this is a weight location Y. Okay, so this is a way to target the bone itself from the, yeah, it's just a way to do things that I'm not familiar with, but apparently this is the shape key for that, and I have no idea about the shape keys for how these are, how that drives. Maybe, just maybe, it would be, as we see, the oh, that's here. So this mesh will push because of the shrink wrapping, it will push the other, so that's quite interesting. So this was not recommended but for deformed bones, although and these are driven, so we know already. So okay, this is using this path. So bone, cheekbone here, right? Cheekbone left here, right? Sink, what is sink? Cheek left still. Okay, the maybe cheek left, no, it's still that, so it's the same. All right, so it's the same. We can test them here. If I turn this off and turn this off and key R, what is this? chick R name is different. Just R, chick R seems to be incomplete, so where's the left for that? Individual stuff. We will gonna check. So these are affecting only the, okay, you see there's only one for the, oh, this is just the name that is incomplete there, folks. It's the chick R there, so it's a sync is the opposite, so probably, I don't know, it could be done on the same, but maybe this is a more organized way to do it, safer, easier way perhaps to organize stuff. Here there's this chick puff, and here we did something probably that oh, of course it was not, I forgot, there we go. And then we can okay, let's put this back. I would like to batch this thing, but I think there's no way to batch driver. Great thing, batch driver. We could have done that. No, this kills the, okay folks, batch driver, another request here. So just a crazy idea, batch driver on off. Maybe there's a way to do that. Okay, so let's go back, folks. Let's create those sacred cheek bones on muzzle bones at once. So they will affect both mesh. We'll use an operator like shared blend, share wave, something like that, between the two mesh we have. But we need to wave paint. So we'll first wave painting the Nixo mouth, and then we are going to the muzzle ghost. So according to previous okay, we could here, yeah, so this is not very complicated, so let's just add some waves here, no big deal, just get this. It could share waves here in the, just we don't want to be touching the mouth, right? So the lips, so could have waves until here even. It might be good to push, in my experience, the mouth, the mesh surrounding the mouth around here. So here we can, I don't know, I'm not able to blur these things. There's no mesh here, so there's no, this is considered the last vertex, so it blends with itself and the surroundings. There's no zero waves here, so that's why I cannot blur here as I was used to. So do, and also you see this also doesn't work. Interesting. Otherwise it will be blue if the, so the only way to solve this, or one way to solve this, will be, yeah, it's just that we don't want too much waves here, so we're just gonna get it something like this. Now we can reinforce this cheek here, and yeah, the reason why I'm not gonna replicate everything, although it would be cool, is that for me what imports more relevant in this rig is the whole idea of this notion of having the mouth floating, or actually deforming, shrink wrapping, or in a crazy cartoonistic way, right? So around the, anywhere on the muzzle, or nearly anywhere in the muzzle, with good deform. So this is kind of crazy, right? And this is the goal here. So now this has for the other side as well. We will skip the cheekbone because that will be, we don't know the wave painting for it. It's similar to this anyways, but I have a project to find out armature deform for this. I think scaling would do, with very subtle wave painting, and provide the mesh topology here is good enough. So this is not an experiment to be doing in this presentation, unfortunately. I'll do on my own mount rigging steps. Now the mount rig, I just need to check. I don't remember what was the take here for Kamau's take on this. Yeah, okay, it's on the top. Of course, the case of my character's design is slightly different. The nose is so let's so this part is symmetric, it will be like symmetrized like that. So I think the muzzle, yeah, we want to preserve the shape of the, to be like a nose bone, right? How it deforms. Okay, now we can turn, yeah, now it should turn on the go to pose position, and something horrible is happening. I'm not sure if this relates to, oh, maybe, yes, I need to check what's going on. This started to happen as soon as I start wave painting. I believe I need to wave paint the, oh, I know why, folks. It's because we need to have armature deform for the muzzle as well, I think. Or something about the interaction with the shrink wrap modifier, of course, since it's not ready. Let's see. So there are subdivisions here, okay. This, we see there's no armature deform yet. Then we have here, if we check the modifiers for this, although I want it to be showing in mesh, this will help, but it doesn't, at least not now. Okay, anyways, get this, all is set, but let's do something. Okay, so mirror, right, armature, it's the armature modifier, maybe, oh, there's the head bone too, maybe it requires some very slight waves. Alright, folks, let's check if that's the case. Yeah, so the head requires to have blended waves. I see there's something that was forgotten here. This is why using that active zero waves is good. You see, everything in the head has to have some waves. We have more waves where it is more structural, that it won't budge. So here, see, maximum waves, very solid waves here. Then as we get near the mouth, there's really low waves. Here some parts of the cheeks are stronger waves for the head, and that we don't have the mouth interior. This is secondary for us, but we're still gonna try to do that. And then here some waves, could have more waves here in my opinion, but we'll try this. Let's see how, yeah, okay, so good. So that was my mistake. We need this stuff here for the, I don't have a head bone. Let's do it. So we're gonna add a bone from this spot. We're gonna, yeah, don't need to be, then we're gonna wave paint this mesh. We're gonna first give it a full Shift K on a, like, why not something like that. It needs a selection, right? So this we go on here, we unselect that. We can do this again. Actually, yeah, so let's see how this looks like. Okay, okay, the selection must be the inversion of nothing, so everything. Okay, this didn't have solved. So probably, yeah, now I'm confused with this. Okay, it makes no sense regarding the fact that this doesn't have shrink wrapping, doesn't have a modifier because armature modifier, because oh, this is the no, this was happening at some point. Okay, let's investigate exactly what is this. So it's not something about the muzzle itself, it's something about our armature here. It's not about the mirror modifier, it's about the armature, yeah, deform. So let's see, so let's, here I have just one bone layer, so for now, well, main, master. Okay, so apparently nothing is wrong here. Maybe there, yeah, so because this bone, okay, I see what's happened. This bone has too strong influence there behind, so this is why we need to just, yeah, that's what, this is this bone stuff. And here also this bone stuff, two strong waves in relation to the head, so this is why I usually started by giving lots of waves, full waves to the head, and then from that we start blending waves and trying to, yeah. So this is just my mistakes, basic fundamental mistake in, I need to train more of this, because I've been focused on very specific things on the facial rig, folks, right? Eyes rigging, mouth rigging, and then I kept doing the basics, so the very basics over and over again, because I did just one or two this head stuff, and then okay, now I get the idea. So we just need to pick some, yeah, the head bone, sorry. We are going to protect the mesh here, something like, yeah, let's pick like these ones. I miss a cheekbone though, so this could be important. So here we can start with a Shift K. Also we can invert this and perhaps give some stronger waves in here, not as much as I'm giving here, but I don't know. Oh, maybe I forgot to make these bones deform bones, except for this one. No, not the case, folks. So I didn't expect I'd be suffering so much. Okay, so this is very structural. Okay, now you see it's starting to get well shaped. Here probably we want some stronger weights here, though this is not his practice. He gave okay, so here as we start to approach here, we probably don't want, yeah, let's give some weights here. Must do what works for your case, right? So okay, we see, so this is good, fine. And then for the mouth, just some blurring waves here, and then you don't touch there, maybe, yeah. Now invert, we can probably blur in this way here. Yeah, we stop blurring, we see what we can. Good. So that's it. Head bone. It was the same problem. The bad wave ratios all over the face. Let's go back now to the cheek and let's see if we can improve this stuff. Maybe we don't need these much waves here. We can have some work here. So wave paint takes some time, but yeah, my planning was bad. I should have started with the head, and yeah, I need actually to find what's the best way to start this kind of work. because it can be quite confusing, right, folks? So the cheek, and this mesh is low poly, so it's every single, it's very easy to get very powerful deforms and create crazy stuff, right? So okay, now the mesh seems more regular, but I need to, yeah, here we have, okay, I have an idea here, folks. We go here for this this bones vertex group, right? Now actually the way to do that, okay, you see vertex group, this depth mount position, so go here, it's already in the selection, we select, doesn't work, this is a bug apparently. It has wave, but because it is a deformed bone, it doesn't recognize this. As soon, perhaps, let's see if that's true. As soon as this stop being related to the bone, as soon as stop being related to the bone, no, still not, and its waves are here, so shouldn't select. It's like it consider everything there, it's in there, but it's not. So this is because it has the same name as the bone, or it came from the bone actually. Yeah, another thing we need to investigate. Just I've been struggling with this for my workflow already, so let's do some trick here. Now let's see if we no, okay, so because it was created then from a deformed bone, or I don't know what triggers this behavior, so I cannot have this selection here, but I can probably, okay, before I forget, let's get it back here. So it's like it's corrupted vertex group. So what I can do to solve this is just, well, not solve, I don't want to solve, I just want to get the proper wave painting here. So you get these layers. We're gonna just smooth these things out very strongly, because I believe this will improve these deforms here. Maybe this is too strong also, so we could consider now it doesn't really seem to affect much, so we just keep blurring whatever. Yeah, we can test though. Why this is happening? Looks like a wrong parenting here, folks. I think I've got this parented to, okay, we need this to be the master parent of everything. This bone is carrying everything. This is totally wrong. Okay, it's parented there. Nose ridge. Oh, nose ridge probably. Yeah, parented here. Yeah, this is the mistake. There we go. And so here we are still getting trouble with some mesh that is going inside. Is that armature deform, or is, okay, mirror, subdivision, and shrink wrap. Okay, now it's kind of working. We see that we don't still have the muzzle is not deforming yet, so this probably is normal, but at least we see that the mesh is shrink wrapping here. So even though these waves, they don't won't help in preventing by this kind of horrid starting condition, right? This is just armature stuff. We can this because the waves, this bone is pushing. Yeah, maybe the rest position of this bone could be different, so we can probably avoid this. No. Oh, it's shrink wrapped. Okay, so it's the opposite, folks. So let's get it. Let's get this bone's rest position. No, exactly in the mesh. No, so yeah, I believe this relates because these bones, then they are okay. So this is because of the parenting offset. The mouth bones, they immediately, it's because of the orientation also, but it is aligned. It relates to the character design. So because they are parented offset like that, as soon as, this is not necessarily bad because of the shrink wrap modifier, but of course this doesn't make much sense. This is bizarre. So the idea is that we would like this not to happen, so the parenting of this could be done like, parenting is too strong, but we could yeah, anyways, this thing will rotate, so I don't know how much this would happen to. Okay, so one thing is to consider that the rest position here is stable, so maybe we need to just do that, right, folks? You see, maybe the orientation of this bone is incorrect for what we need here. It all relates to that, not the shrink wrap exactly. This is because of this, right, folks? And a great deal is because of this, and maybe in the waves that appear here. But with the shrink wrap, this will be just a smoothing stuff. So here, oh, this distance, maybe we need to improve. Okay, we can play with that for sure. Let's see what it looks like in the. So is this bones shrink wrapping distance 0.01? Okay, so and you see how the, yeah, so I haven't checked that, so because the mouth is so low in this character design, maybe that, yes, so this is very interesting. I wasn't, no, what bone is this? Oh no, this is the tongue. This is, so I see, this is very, very interesting. I wasn't considering this thing, and head pointing up, right, parented to the head, and it is starts really, okay, I see. I just want to see its relation to that. So apparently what we can do here, we're gonna select this, we put this here, we will, yeah, it doesn't need to be there, so we can accidentally created a bone, so this would, we can move this down, yes, then this would probably align here. We need to find which is the correct alignment of this, right, folks? Yeah, we could probably, we don't need this, right, but it will be, yeah, you see it's not matching exactly, so it's not required, but we can do that. That seems, the question is the orientation then. So do they touch? So there are lots of details. No, they don't touch. It's just this stays behind, right? But then there is the orientation thing. Actually, I should move this. Let's try this. It might be tilted so we can have better. Yeah, so these are very specific, I think, of the character design. We need to see with a lot of. Let's see if yeah, it's centered. That's fine. We need to align here. Let's see now. Still okay. As I reset, we can also have some thing here. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. All right. So we solve it, folks. So this helps. This is a large distance actually, and so it's about because of course in great deal because of this stuff. So here it's nearly matched. We could keep exploring, but it's a bit hard because we don't. It's hard to. I don't know exactly how to find out exactly this. The amount of rotation this bone has, and then we have to match this with the. Yeah, so it's a bit complicated, but okay, this works. I didn't know this concept. This is very interesting. It is, you see, this is the interesting part of explanation. Sometimes we have, hello Sequoia, welcome back. Sorry, last time I wasn't able to answer you. I was with a lot of files open, so I couldn't see the chat because also of the screen here takes all the screen. I was looking at reading the documentation or something like that. I was using plenty of yeah. So no, never gone to Japan. Never gone to the Orient. I have a friend who wants to work in Japan. He works with Blender. But I have studied Japanese just for in the past. Now I just know basic Japanese, very very basic, like just to not get lost in town. I would like to study Mandarin, Chinese though. Today I'm more interested in China than in Japan. But I still know some Japanese, and there are some interrelations. Kanji from Japan, the ideograms, they come from China, right? China is like the Greece, ancient Greece for the Orient countries. Like they took nearly a lot of things from Chinese culture, right? Chinese food, yeah, legendary. Don't even tell me about Chinese food. Yeah. Anyways, I'm very into. I'm passionate by history and cultures, and although I don't have much experience with that, I always love the idea of yeah, it's not tourism, but yeah, I find it fascinating, the understanding different cultures. And yeah, it's true, it's a fact that I love history in general. So I check sometimes documentaries or with maps of ancient cultures, and some not necessarily ancient, could be more recent modern history. Some stuff that we don't have at school, then we start to learn for like the country that is at the side of yours. Maybe we know a lot about our own country's history, but we don't know anything about nearly anything about our neighbors. I find this interesting. Hey, hello Ash. I think you yeah, hello, welcome back. How are you doing? Como tá? So here we are starting to succeed on the Sonic mount rig here. Something very interesting that I found here. You see the file, right? I didn't know it was here. It was in that information that was here, and somewhere in the documentation. This flat mount is just optional. Legal, legal. Tô bem. É. The mount flat here, the mesh that is in between, is just a flat version. If you go here and see the actually mount sonic mount stuff here, so you see this video here. This is the this is the old flat mount, and this is the new mount. We can use this for 2D effects. So it's like, if I just look at this, there's a rendering. Yeah, it's not good here. I cannot show, unfortunately, but I put it so the mount becomes really very flat, even worse than that. This is actually a bit more to do, but the new one, the mounting, allows for this one. So you can delete that. You can just use this, or use that if you really want flat stuff like that. Your 3D looks 2D, real 2D, like a drawing, but no stuff at all. But then what happens is that they are not supposed to be combined. I think either use one, either use the other. And you don't the muzzle, so the muzzle is important, and either one of mount flat or mount, so you choose according to your requirements. And something here to solve this was done with just a trick, I think, with the, it will find it here, with the data transfer modifier. Is this flat? Yeah, there are some things here. It's the custom normals option, which would this is the flat shape, totally flat shape. You see, is that what you want? No, maybe not. Perhaps if we're doing a very specialized style, but even I think it's not what you want. But with the proper thing, you get something more like this. So this is the new, I guess. Anyways, this should help because of those things. Okay. Now this is actually just how this thing deforms, and this relates to how this can be converted in something like that. So this is why even the flat mount, it can become something like that, but it's not as good, as smooth as this. And this is probably that flat stuff there. This trick, this is very cool. The custom normals here, so another extra use of this turns this totally flat mount drawing into that by some magic that I don't understand. It relates to the UV stuff, and so that's it. And so I was wrong in the idea that he was using three mesh objects. Actually, yes, there are three, but only two of them are required. Also, I was wrong regarding the fact that, at least so far, we're gonna see more, his method of using double shrink wrap modifiers here, it's for a different purpose than the 3D box volume that I was talking about. So what I found a different way to do does different thing. His purpose in doing this, so there's a subdivision, there's a shrink wrap, like it's just to, then it subdivides again, then it shrink wraps again, but with a zero distance. So it's like it starts to push the mesh, the mount mesh, inside the muzzle, and then it does it again to get better smoothing effects. So it's like a double stack, and this is written there too. It's explained here. duplicate the two subdivision and shrink wrap modifiers to get rid of any imperfection. So this is like actually an to approximate the shrink wrapping. It's not to preserve the mouth shapes, the lips in 3D stuff. It's not for that same purpose, I believe. So they are different, but it's an interesting way to use this. I don't think it's necessary, but we're gonna make this too. We'll see, we'll be able to compare. So that's it for the explanation. Okay, so the muzzle is supposed to be ghosted, right? Yes, the muzzle is exactly that. So this turns out to be much closer to the rigging, mouth rigging that I was doing already. Of course, I took concepts from here and I start to experiment, but because there were 3 mesh objects there and I didn't know what was the flat mouth. I start to have crazy ideas what was imagination, right? Boiling, and then I was, wow, this should be very special. And actually, no, it was much closer to what I was already doing. The mesh, I mean, the mesh is supposed to be ghosted, right? The mesh of the muzzle, yes, this one that is called muzzle is supposed to not appear, I assume, and only this one should show in principle in render. Actually, we can check this because there's this thing. I have to reopen the original here. Okay, so here we can do some cool stuff. This information is very important to know. So yeah, he decides to have everything rendered. There are sometimes some mistakes in little things in preparation. So perhaps this was something he forgot, or I don't know. So in principle, I think this should be the only thing, because even the muzzle itself, it needs to be no, hold on. What is said in the documentation, well, maybe this is happening because of the modifiers, so hold on. Yeah, so you see the muzzle is much smaller in scale than the mouth flat or mouth. And so this is to prevent wrong shrink wrapping. So so this I know about, but this can be closer to the original, right? So, but doesn't matter. So yeah. So this is explained there also in the post in Blender Artist. So I hope that answers what you mean. So let's go back here, and we need to continue here. I have wave painted here so very simple stuff, right? Linear blend skinning. Oops, here. Then this has some ring. This shows in the documentation. Doesn't have waves on the mouth. It could have, but not necessarily. This is for the mouth interior. We can do this, but then this is oh, this is not controlling. Hold on, I think I messed up something. No, it's like that. We need to continue this. There might be some controller here I'm missing. Let's see. I was working on mouth 2, right? So here we got, no, it doesn't budge it moves that bone, but okay, it doesn't move that bone, but this bone moves everything. Okay, so regular stuff. Here the mouth position bone, which is the one I have, has just a shrink wrap bone constraint, and it's parented offset to to the mouth rotation. If you check here the relations, mouth rotation. Okay, so that parented offset, nothing else. So these cheekbones here, they are I have bone layers. Hold on. I myself made the separation, so these cheekbones, they are all parented to the head bone. Cheek. Hold on. This is an old. Alright, this is older. I didn't delete. I'm just not using. This contain just shape keys. They don't have actually wave paint for nothing. They are used along with shape keys. So here nose ridge, yeah, and head, very important. So there's a little mistake. He could have blurred this out. There's black, so no waves. This must be developed with the help on wave paint mode of the. Oh, there's auto normalized turned on. I don't like that. And so, anyways, this could be useful sometimes. Some people only use that. So, 0 waves instead of known. You don't see what is known wave painted. So get active. Then you see that this was never touched, or it is absolute 0 waves, while this has minimal waves. We can probably check if we get the modifier used does not okay, I don't know what's that. Anyways, so let's continue. So I just wanted to check. Yes, parenting, that's it. They are symmetric. So, and there's lip extrude. It's sort of a feature that I'm not. Yeah, this is for the last. This bone is parent to the mouth position. Let's create it, and it also itself, it doesn't contain waves. Let's create this lip extrude, and so we'll go here, shift add, then we reduce this side. Let's align here. Let's parent here offset, and then call it lips extrude to be sort of yeah, and then alright, we need to continue here. So head, this is def head. Okay, we need now to assess the wave painting of the, yeah, we need to parent also the muzzle to the armature, because we did that. And the way we're gonna do this, we're gonna transfer waves. If there's any waves you don't want, we delete. We'll first try out. It's very important, right, Ash? You need to know which are the waves that are used for the muzzle and for the mouth. So for example, here I'm checking the wave paint of the muzzle. Okay, you see these waves here. The cheeks, okay, this will be shape keys, but there's no mouth bones here that would affect. Yeah, for example, this bone, it's a deformed bone, it contains waves, the ring around the mouth, but it's not on the muzzle. For some reason he decided not. I think it could have. The deformed bones for the muzzle also don't contain waves for the muzzle, because it's mouth and the muzzle doesn't have a mouth. So everything that relates to mouth, no waves, but everything that relates to the cheeks right here and the head, then they got, right? and here he decided to not have waves here, or maybe I manipulated that. Okay, so the wave paint of the muzzle is slightly different for the for some bones, especially the head bone. So this is the muzzle, but when we go on the mouth and we assess the wave painting and we check the wave painting, you see this is the head bone is slightly different. This is there's more range, and yeah, there's some seems to have more blurring. And then we have here the ring. You see it actually bigger, even bigger than what I've made myself. This is the mouth position, and here the lips, the mouth conventional 8. So that's it. So you have to, and the mouth flat is probably the same waves as the mouth. The one in the middle is probably the same. Yeah, it's just a clone, right? What changed here is just something probably about the solutions. No, there's actually some mesh difference. Yeah, there's some mesh difference too, but so I'm not gonna go into this one. We're trying to go into this one. Okay, so now we get here. We need to develop what was that we needed to develop. First, this is not a deformed bone. I think it doesn't contain waves anyway. No weights. So here we decide to make this like that. Wait, why my head bone doesn't contain? Make this selectable. I've just realized I've lost the waves on the head bone. This doesn't require mouth rotation. Don't have weight. Yes, so I've lost waves here. This is horrible because I have wave paint everything, but then why this mesh is being sustained if it wasn't? Oh, no. Dev cheek. This has the wave of the head. Ah, yeah, okay. So let's make a switch here. Alright, this is a cool trick I'm gonna show. Oh, this bone has the waves of the head, and the head has nothing interesting. Okay, no problem, folks. Get here onto the vertex stuff. We can delete the... Okay, so the head doesn't exist, so we just had to... If it existed, like if this bone had something like that, okay, it has this, we just, whatever it is, just delete or change its name if you want to preserve it. They were invert, for example. If then we go here, we pick this, we put head, which already exists. Now the wave paint that was from the ridge goes for the head automatically. And now we can just pick this and wave paint. So I didn't, there's no way I would have deleted the before, right? The lost my... Oh, again I'm doing it wrong. This is mouth rotation. There's nothing to do with... Yeah, so it's this. Yeah, this sounds okay. So just some blurring now. Here, yeah, why not? Just some little here. This is mirrored mesh, won't paint, so that's this. Maybe some more blurring here, and that should be good. The modifiers here are not totally... I think I've... Yeah, good to do something here. Maybe this helps. Must be here. We could also maybe blur a bit more, but this is beyond my, yeah, what I've done originally, so A bit of extrapolation here, maybe this helps, considering I've seen that he had more influence on this area, on this bone, so just not the mouth, although it would be okay to paint, right? But no, we're not gonna do this. We try to reproduce. So do this type of mouth only work on spherical surfaces? Well, no, they should work on whatever, because of the shrink wrap modifier. Actually, yes, if the shape is too bad though, maybe the flat mouth has more potential to work on any crazy surface because it's flat and maybe it's adapts better. But if we try, for example, to bring the mouth to a place that is very, you see, the mouth can eventually it can start to get problems if the surface is too complicated. If the surface is flat though, it should still work, but I think the mouth flat would be better because it's, right, look at the mesh here, it adapts better. Well, maybe not there, but that's another thing. Yeah, this is some warping. The shrink wrap here gets crazy because it's touching another mesh, so this is why this happened. If this thing was not so close to, this is the mouth interior thing, right? So inside the mouth. If this mesh didn't exist, it would be better. So yeah, normal too, similar, and we are using both language, so easy to get confused. So what I really like is those shapes here, whether I can really shape. Look at those cartoony expressions, right? That's really cool. I was trying to do stuff like that with spline skinning, but actually linear blend skinning, which is just what these deformed bones are doing. They are not bendy bones. They are regular deformed bones with armature modifier. Oh, he's using preserve volume. Okay, this sets this armature deform. Everything that is affected by this object modifier is set to dual quaternion skinning, which is a different skinning algorithm, which actually has a big problem. I'm gonna show you because you asked about spline skinning. So I have I'll show exactly. There's a document in the internet I was researching, but I've put it into a tutorial. I just look for the tutorial. It's very beginning. So hold on. I thought I had more. Okay, so never mind. Let's get my stuff here. Notification. Now there's something else. So there's not live. Sorry. Okay, videos should be somewhere. Okay, here in the beginning of this. Okay, so there's the link for the if you want to research into that, but there's no academic work. So here what we get is the linear blend skinning, what it does here to the deforms. You see there's volume loss here and some artifacts here. Here dual quaternion skinning, it's a bit better, but then it's created bulge here, bit better on this 90-degree rotation, right? So this is deforming mesh. And then spline skinning, what it does for those curves, right? So but it doesn't mean we can't rig good or make good rigs, organic rigging with this. The problem with dual quaternion skinning is that there's a big issue when the rotation reaches to 180 degrees, 180 graus, and then it will warp everything, like an inversion, like scale inversion. It's crazy. It breaks the rig, so this is dangerous to use on characters because of this. But it's slightly better than that, usually, for organic deforms. And this, of course, this spline skinning is very good for certain cases, like tubes, tentacles, such things, ropes, objects that curve a lot, but it's not necessarily good to solve joints, because there's some limitation. But there are techniques, advanced techniques, that combine this with this or this. So we can even combine multiple. So because in the end it's just how the single vertex moves in world space. So it's just adding mathematical data, mathematic output. So there's no mystery. Our algorithms don't mix. They just, each one does what it has to do, and then their output go in the final output, which is what we see in the screen. So I think that's the way it is supposed to work. So we can have multiple, I've experimented with that, but it's very, very hard. We can have multiple armature modifiers on the same mesh, and one can have dual quaternion skinning, the other can have linear blend skinning, and we can set this to happen on specific vertex groups. So if you have an armature with, this is why would do that? Too much work for, and it creates some complications. But it can be done actually. Yes, I've got an idea now that can improve this method. So never mind. This is too bizarre. So I don't use dual quaternion skinning, preserve volume, because after I've discovered that it can warp the rotation of the mesh, can do it right now. So for example, you see here the rotations. Okay, it rotates perfectly, right? It creates, of course it's bad, but then if we put this there, you see the warp. Although the deforms are slightly better usually, but there is this warping, and if something needs to do this amount of rotation, then it's dangerous. So, but the deforms, it's slightly different. Alright, let's leave it off. So let's go back to the stuff here. I got it. Yeah, I think the spline skin technique one is better for like characters with noodle arms. Exactly, that's what you saw in if you watch that Deco tutorial. It's very basic, and there's also the arm twisting. I think he mentioned that. So we can build arm twisting without bendy bone splines. It is possible to do arm twisting without this. There's a special technique for that. I don't use, but maybe because I'm too much into bendy bones at this point. But they call twist bones, like it would be something like, you have like, let's see a good example. Something like that, twist bones. You have the regular bone, but then the deformed bone here of the forearm stops being a deformed bone. It becomes a mechanism bone, and then bones inside they work like bendy bone segments. So it's like we're making segments. Then we can have them rolling in different, let's say, influences, and then this will create the deformed twisting feature. So we can make a forearm limb twisting feature without bendy bone spline. So it's there's a twist bone feature. You need to build that, but it's not too complicated. It's just not, it's intermediate rigging, not basic rigging. It's intermediate rigging, so it's very accessible. You can do that probably without much pain. However, this melt rigging is more like advanced rigging because it combines armature with object modifiers. This is kind of crazy, right? So here I had the ghost mesh. I call it ghost mesh because for me it should be invisible, because it will be dangerous in my opinion to have a shrink wrapping mesh like this one showing simultaneously, rendering simultaneously at the same time with that. So I think this is dangerous. So for example, if we get some okay, I get nothing, so I don't know why my camera, yeah, my camera is, and also let's reduce this thing. I don't need all that rendering power here. I think I got something corrupted about my mesh. No, it's the materials are very poor, and actually this is why better not. Yeah, that's it. So we don't. So I think it was a mistake to leave that open. I don't think it was supposed to. Maybe the data transfer modifier he used solves that. Maybe, but I don't see any need to do that. We're gonna. Anyway, so this is why for me this is still a ghost mesh. But we'll go through the data transfer modifier anyways, and we're gonna assess what he does there. Alright folks, so let's continue here. We got to consider okay, where do we need to go? Okay, now I think we're going to go to the object modifiers, right folks? So let's me load this. And so here object modifiers are, so we work on the Sonic H. Okay, so this was the name of the armature actually. I see, so this was Sonic H was the armature, okay, for the driver thing. So muzzle, we get muzzle mesh, just the armature modifier. We need to get this, yeah, we need to use this and the subdivision, which we already get. So, and we also have mirror modifier. So let's get finally let's get the armature to the ghost mesh also, get it selectable, right? So we can, if we compare, yes, actually yes, this shrink wrapping already, but just to make sure, if you compare my ghost mesh object, it's smaller than the, yeah, so I did that on purpose. I just rescaled down the mesh or something like that, so that the shrink wraps shrinks indeed, and don't try to do something else. So very important. Then okay, let's do this. Then we get, now it's on the same surface nearly. We need to wave paint this. So what we do is that we will parent the ghost with armature deform with empty groups. We already have some, yeah, we're gonna delete all that here. Actually, I think these were updated, right? Lip, no. Cheeks, yes, okay, so we reparented with automatic waves. So now let's assess the waves of this. Something is wrong. Armature, okay, so after okay, empty waves, of course. So these are old vertex groups actually. Sorry, we're gonna delete all that old stuff from. We need now to make a shared wave stuff. We need select the armature. No, select. Yeah, could select the armature too. So select this, select the mouth, select which is the source of the wave painting, because this contains already wave paint, and select in the end what we are semi-active should be this with control. Then could do that on the screen too. Then this is the active. The active, it will take waves from the source. So wave paint mode. Then doesn't matter. There's nothing here anyways. No vertex group. What we do? No bone select. We do assign. No, we transfer waves operator. This is we do for. This can be done with the data transfer modifier. Actually, these are similar panel of the what you find on the data transfer modifier. There's a way to do this. There are tutorials about this for cloth rigging. We transfer waves. I prefer this way, it's faster now that I know it. So vertex group, create data. Yes, here we could. The documentation tells this, and indeed this is usually better. Sometimes I see some people use that, but this seems to have better results. This we don't touch, and then not this. Then this is very important. All layers. So destination layer, all layers by name, and mix mode. Yes, replace. There's nothing else to care about. So now if we check the wave painting of the muzzle, yeah, it has got all this copied, transferred, like hold on, I'm having a problem with my commands here. I think I've lost the wireframe. No, something happened crazy that I've lost my okay, never mind. I will continue here anyways. It's just no, here we go. Alright, so here see we have transferred. It seems to have some infinite loop happening here. This is happening because of some interaction between the muzzle. Yes, I know what is this. It happened. It's probably because of the. So I don't need this stuff here because the muzzle doesn't have mouth, so we can delete the lip stuff. All the lip stuff we can take it off. I don't know exactly why that happens. So okay, so this as for the mouth, so it doesn't matter. For some reason. Alright, so you see that this is working. This for the muzzle, right? And if we look at the face now, because of the shrink wrapping, this will drag the. But they are stacking. Both have the same waves, I believe, on the cheek. But only the muzzle has got. I mean, only the mouth has got these waves. The muzzle doesn't have these waves, and so here the muzzle also has this, but here I believe I turned this bone to be not a deformed bone, so yeah, let's turn it on. So this was, and now let's see if how the muzzle deforms with this. This was not supposed, yeah, so maybe this is not a good idea for the muzzle to have this. I'm not sure why. Maybe there's some, yeah, it looks crazy. So let's take this off. This will be by, actually, let's see, vertex here. This will be the mount rotation. No, mount, yeah, don't need that. Mount position, yeah, let's delete this. Alright, so yeah, it's better not to have this because of the way I believe this controls, because this is the muzzle, this is about the mouth, yeah, so okay. The problem of deforming here is because of the control rig that this has in relation to everything. So if you have this stuff for, all this stuff for the muzzle, deforming the muzzle, this will probably go crazy in the interaction, yeah, for the muzzle, but it should work nonetheless for the face. So here what we need to do is that just making sure here that I'm stuck into the on one mode, okay. I must make sure if this part here doesn't contain waves. Okay, no waves for the mouth. And what about the muzzle here? Also no waves for the muzzle, so that's right. So this mouth rotation, it is probably, maybe it has got waves for the teeth and tongue. So let's take a look. This is part that I didn't check yet. I didn't make this yet. So yeah, so mouth rotation has waves for the teeth. The head doesn't have for this. No, actually, what moves these things? I think this bone. No, this is the tongue bone. Okay, never mind. So this is so when you create deformed bones, yeah, this shouldn't be a deformed bone, therefore, but so a little issue here that confuses, and then I cannot find those waves. Okay, let's assess the wave painting from here then. Tongue stretch, okay, full waves. Teeth. Okay, this is interesting. The teeth have some sort of center, then left and right, then teeth bottom, okay, up and bot. Okay. But there are no bones with such. Oh, there they are. There they are. We found them. They are teeth bone. I don't know how they are supposed. This works. This is pretty cool. No, not this one. So mouth interior rig, right? So we get. Okay, the middle moves everything. And then we can do this, and then we can. Pretty simple, right? So don't need bendy bones to do that actually. So maybe I overdid I overdid my rig, so and we can scale that, so no this can, yeah, it works very fine. And then we can, if there are more tweaking bones here, we could make better deforms, very specific stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah, very interesting for me to know. Same thing here. The controller here, I think, is the one here. I don't think there's anything else. Then the tongue, let's see this tongue thing. Yes, very good deforms. Of course, there's a lot of subdivisions and stuff here. This is a very good tongue rig, actually. This bone is stretched too. Let's see here. We've got, maybe this spline skinning. Folks, we are gonna find this immediately. If we check here, we get, yeah, there's a stretch too, right? Bone constraint. Target tongue out. Target the head. Okay, regular stuff. Regular stuff here. Volume minimum. Okay, this is 1 by default. Okay. Then, well, the way to check this, of course, is that we go to B bones. Okay, this is spline skinning indeed. Let's see. There's a very simple and good tongue rig apparently. Segments, we got 9 segments. Yeah, this doesn't matter a lot. Then we got, yeah, I should have done this the tongue so much long ago, therefore. Let's see for the settings here on edit mode. Nothing special here. So you have apps, he's using absolute, yes, can be other thing, no things here. Tongue in, tongue out, so you have a, this is parented to the offset to the tongue in, which is the start handle, and this is the tongue out end handle. So, and then we have also a tongue root, which parents all the only the handles, the 2 handles, and it's parented itself to something else is parent. What? Oh no, it's because, oh, okay, so let's see. So this is there. What is there in the front? Now it is, the tongue is parent to, we'll see. So the tongue itself, it's just 2 connections here, but it's parent to, this is interesting. This might be some sort of fake key mouth position. So the root tongue will actually move along with the mouth position, and then probably this is the fact that the teeth, okay, this parent offset here, this could be different, but that works. Then this parent here, and this same thing parent here. And then what it does is that on the character we get all this stuff moving. This is a genius idea for cartoon. This is all the best, right? You get not only the thing that the mouth moves, shrink wraps and all that, but you have the mouth interior stuff kind of following. And this is a problem according to character design that I still am trying to solve, because in this case the character design is rounded enough, the muzzle here, that whatever we shrink wrap here, the I don't know what's happening here, probably some I'm exaggerating, maybe I made some change to the, okay, so it has the mouth interior stuff following the that mouth position. There's a, so this concept is great because the initial mouth is here, everything there will orient itself with the mouth hole. So if we see the There are other problematics here, of course, but so if I have the melt open, we can see probably the teeth, right? I hope so. Yeah, I agree. It's a bit confusing here. So you see the bottom teeth. Maybe we want to, yeah. So we do that. But the problem is that sometimes the character design won't help. There would be some, if you want the teeth to appear, the arcades to appear in certain positions, see, sometimes we get this kind of and this is also a character design thing, so it's very important to I want to make this dynamic, like automatic, so there is this was what I was studying, how to get the melt interior stuff adapt to the face in most posing. So I was trying to attempt this on my rig with some automatic scaling of the mount interior stuff, slightly stuff. So if, for example, I rotate this here and there's let's say there's interpenetrations here, no problem, we make a slightly automatic descaling of the entire arcade on the x-axis, right? And then this allows to avoid the interpenetration, and so we can do everything here. But of course, if we can, the best thing is would be to have a circular muzzle from a top or bottom view. This is more circular than my own character design that I was playing with. So but yeah, this is very cool. So I think here I've covered, even though I didn't complete. Yes, we need to sorry folks, we need to, okay, hold on, let's see. I've seen the Captain Underpants melt too. Captain Underpants, I don't know this character from the name. If you want more reference for this kind, is a character of, yes, I like certain, you can send me on Discord. Card Underpants, I see. Yes, very. It's 3D. It's 2D. It has adaptation. Yeah. Very cool. Great 3D cartoon. But look, his face is like too simple, right? But yeah. But it doesn't mean it shouldn't. Universal Sonic Mouth rig wouldn't work for like more complicated shapes. But yeah, those cartoon shapes are very cool. So otherwise they wouldn't be working already on Sonic muzzle, right? So that's great. So we can have different shapes. Even you asked, right, some planar face, yes, it would work just as here, but must be attention with very when if the mesh is not smooth, then could be there could be a brick in the design, and so very cool reference for this melt expressions, cartoon it in 3D. And the thing with Boolean melt I got with the VeggieTales melt one. Oh great, congrats. I also understand how to make it with another method that I still haven't developed it because I don't think I need it so far, but it's I want to, if it's possible, I would like to know what you achieved with the Boolean. Might be different than the idea I got. Basically, we have to have the difference thing, and the thing that is traversing the mouth must be invisible. So, and Boolean is active, so you don't have it's in real time stuff. Alright folks, so continuing here, I've already wave painted, transferred waves from the head to the muzzle to the mouth from the mouth to the muzzle. This means that we've got this ready, no waves here, there's no this crazy thing that was happening, that even creating infinite loops, and then this is actually moving in sync. As we deform this is deforming both the the mouth and the muzzle. So this is a sonic universal sonic thing that I've mount rig that I've learned from that. So I didn't thought about this very and so you can already on my character do that, and probably, let's see, yes, we can have the mouth. What's happening here? I'm having lots of, okay, I'm stuck in the selections here, sorry. Yeah, I've locked stuff and I was still in the something there, so I need to just hide this. And yeah, so here we go. There are some things to be perfected, of course, but it already is working. We can just get this, and then the rest is like smoothing, I guess. And yeah, I don't have the melting 13, but this will be, yeah, here is probably this is not spline skinning, folks, so it's not as smooth to create those deforms, but we can yeah, we could have more bones like this to make this better. So yeah, it's, oh, there's the modifier too. Let's use the data transfer modifier. And so perhaps if we wave painted this better for only for the muzzle, folks, no, sorry, only for the face, right? So I want the mouth. So let's get some layer protection like this, but let's expand this, expand this like here, perhaps one more face loop. Yeah, don't need here. With this selection we go here. Oh, there's the object modifiers I forgot. So there's two things. Yeah, data transfer modifier is also modifier. So let's just make some work here. Maybe this bone here for the face we can have better. Yeah, we can have more influence in this region here. We'll see. Maybe that's, yeah, this mirrored, so don't bother. Could be, we see there's some terrible stuff that is happening to the mesh there, which isn't clear why. Smoothing perhaps, yeah, the waves are too bold, and so blurring, maybe more subdivision, maybe I'm forgetting something. Anyways, let's continue blurring these things. Oh, I see, it's the inside also. So maybe we need to get this, but reduce, yeah, augment actually. We're gonna get a bit more into the mouth, but maybe slightly more. Let's see. No, this is not this. It's something about, yeah, this is wave painting for the lips, the lips. Really, yeah, these waves perhaps are too strong here around. We can probably try to do this. Now we probably want to get yeah, let's try this. But in principle, the rig is already showing that we can do stuff like that. So that's, does it happen on both sides? Yeah. So this is about the warping thing that I still have. This is not. the offset parenting, maybe these distances, yeah, maybe we could have this not rotate, yeah, because when this thing, because they are offset parenting. Oh, I see something, folks, hold on. You see the orientation of the deformed bones of the lips, they are following this. And the orientation I've made for my deformed bones on the lips, they are not. So what we need to do here, folks, is just get all this here and do that. And now, yeah, it's better. Yeah, much better. So then the rest is probably wave painting and some modifiers we need to address. The developing better the shrink wrapping things on, yeah. So hold on, let's just continue here the wave painting here of these lips. We'll see what we can. So here is okay. Let's start with this. Maybe it's large, just a more better wave painting here would help this, like some smoothing things here, who knows. Then this one on the side probably, yeah, it probably helps. Then here we can probably have on the bottom some, yeah, seems that helps, yeah. So let's get some blurring here. And then last one, because it's symmetrized, and so this we can, yeah, so you see it helps, that it helps a little, can be problematic, but if we expand too much, but if we expand, probably low waves will be better. And so here, all right, so you see, and then let's see for the expressions. It's kind of, yeah, my mouth, the mouth that for this card is very simple, the lips that I've made. So there seem to be some that the mouth start to get inside too much. No, here is fine. It was, then we can create extra control. So the good thing now is these bones are free to do that. So look at that. So that's kind of crazy, right? Of course, I'm not trying to go here, the mouth goes, but you see what happened to the mesh because of, we need to do better with the, yeah, we need to implement the object modifiers, but see, we can sort of adjust certain things with that. So in principle, it's already operating. So I think you got it, man. Thanks. Yeah, I think I got it, but it's not perfect. It's not good enough. We need more. I mean, it's not good enough in relation to what I wanted for the tutorial. I've planned the not tutorials or the presentation. What I want is to finish with the. So I'm not using this. Let's just check if the object modifiers for that. Hold on. So root node, okay, preserve volume. Maybe preserve volume is helping in that mouth rig. We are gonna check. So everything has got preserve volume. Multi modifier. Maybe this is important, folks. I never used it. I have no idea what that does exactly. So let's do this. This is not in explained. This is not presented. I don't remember having seen that. But so this is happened probably because the modifiers are not good, maybe. Yeah, so sometimes this happen, but yeah, sometimes not. So it's apparently it's here that it's happened. We need to revise some stuff here, but then where is the, yeah, let's see, preserve volume, multi modifier, does this change anything? And okay, I don't see any change, folks, so we need to investigate that. It's interesting, but look at that. Yeah, this is, maybe this, yeah, I'll say preserve volume has some, yeah, certainly vertex groups, right? But then we don't, yeah, sometimes maybe there's a, I'm testing it wrongly. Yeah, we totally got it, right, folks? Totally no, we got the thing working in the. Do you think that thing can do better if merging with the spline skinning method, or it's not necessary? Well, we can actually, by merging, I mean, I guess you mean, yes, we can have, for example, you don't have to use spline skinning with bendy bone splines, for example, everywhere, or if, for example, he used spline skinning for the tongue, bendy bones, but the tongue is separated from the teeth. There's actually it's the same object as the mesh object and the teeth, but they were disconnected mesh, and they weren't sharing waves. So, but the tongue was fully waved with the, if you check here, the mouth interior, the mouth interiors, folks, this, if we check here, this is the wave painting spline skinning waves, because it's a bendy bone and it's a bendy bone spline here. So this is spline skinning waves. Do not confuse this with these waves here, from this deformed bone, this deformed bone, this is dual quaternion skinning, because it is the armature modifiers like this. Preserve volume here, dual quaternion skinning, deform rotation interpolation with quaternions. So all the deformed bones in this mesh are dual quaternion skinning, except for the tongue, and it's just the tongue. So it's not really merging anything, mixing, like because there's no blended, they're now sharing waves, right? But it could happen, and it will be okay in principle. There are situations where it is dangerous. So, for example, I still investigating this, but the idea basically is that yes, probably we can have, for example, the mouth like this, and perhaps if we want, I think this wouldn't create a lot of interference. We have the cheekbone being a bendy bone spline like this, like here. So you have here one and here. So this is what I did for my rig, and maybe you can have a profile bendy also here. This is optional, but this, or maybe we can have bendy bones for the mouth. But I've been suffering from this choice a lot. I like what I did here. Not that what I did here for the bendy bones is not interesting, but I'm still having too much difficulty to shape this. You see, this kind with bendy bone splines. I don't understand this. and apparently linear blend skinning or dual quaternion skinning, doesn't matter, for this, for shaping the cartoonic mouth expressions like this, it's much simpler to pose to create the, yeah, I'm very satisfied with at least what I saw there, and I'm starting to believe that it's better to have the lips rig with this kind of stuff. Then of course if you change here, the it doesn't do anything, right, to this, so it's not really, yeah, there's some difference but very minimal. So probably it's more if we make rotations we'll see more. So let's see, for example, like that, making this with these regular rigs, it's much better than all the work it takes to make the mouth with bendy bones. Unfortunately, because with bendy bones are cool, but yeah, apparently they are very bad to solve this kind of, not very bad, they're just not that convenient. This seems to be much more convenient. So for some reason here I'm not seeing anything happening. Oh, this is the muzzle, never mind. Here. So yeah, no big difference in principle. And we can use perhaps only this, can create an armature modifier with vertex group just for the mouth maybe, but I don't recommend this. It's too complicated and too prone to errors without a good model for that, without a good but look at these mouth shapes. I wasn't able to do exactly this on my own rig. So yeah, so my take would be doing the lips, the mouth shapes with perhaps yeah, linear blend skinning, or like, right, regular deformed bones just as this. And I say this because, well, you can use dual quaternion skinning too, but then if you want to have the character with crazy pose on the body, if you have this, you eventually the leg will rotate like you want to, you'll have problems. I had exactly this problem. So you have a character, for example, yeah, the character cannot rotate legs and arms freely because, so for example, if I have the character and a profile like this, then let's say, okay, you can do that, but you cannot do, for example, if you try to do this, okay, maybe you still can, but if you try to do this, something like that, right, more crazily, then this angle is already more than 180 degree, more or less, doesn't matter. And this is rotation from that, and then you screwed up everything. So this is why I think it's not recommended to use this for rigging until they perhaps change this, until there's a solution for that. So I was using all that because I preferred the organic deforms, but then yeah, the better just linear blend skinning for the mouth. And then for the cheeks, okay, this works fine too with that. Just get good wave painting, maybe a few more bones if you want. So this works very well, provided you have enough subdivisions, right? And in this case we are working with 2, but we could have more on. Okay, this is the muzzle, but yeah, the muzzle needs a lot actually, so it's good. And the muzzle has 2. Okay, that's okay for me. And then here 1 and then 1. Okay, so yeah, so if the mouth, sorry, the mouth don't have enough subdivisions, then the deforms are, well, they're still okay, but it will be better with at least one subdivisions. Okay, and oh, I did it wrong here. Yeah, so it deforms well, but we want subdivisions. The baby bones can be helpful for this deform, but it's not necessary, right? It's optional. I really think that the results here seem pretty solid with this thing. It's much easier to set up. Maybe spline skinning for facial rig will be for other things. I wasn't expecting this at all, so this is very positive in one sense. For the eyes rig that I was doing, maybe spline skinning would be better for the eyelids and some other things. Yeah, okay, so let's continue here. And that glitch with these two meshed together there, will it disappear in the render, the mouth and the muzzle mesh? Well, that glitch, it's, no, I think that this problem here is the wave painting problem. And not, I need to improve this for this character design, but not only do this, also perhaps having more bones, more different ways to, but more than that, I haven't finished, so let's, the modifiers, so the muzzle is that, subdivisions, 3, 4, that, no, this is done. Vertex group, okay, so don't bother here. Then mouth flat, okay, this is the shape keys, no, we're not, yeah, not touching that, so let's go directly for the mouth. Actually, object modifiers, right, folks? Let's see, let's compare. Yeah, they're exactly the same, so they are maybe not exactly the same, there might be some difference. Let's say, for example, here might be the most interesting difference. The data transfer modifier goes at the end. Okay, so the flat mouth use custom normals. All is UV, face corner data, this is important, they told. Then UVs, all layers by name, okay, face data, smooth freestyle. Then here UVs, all layers by name, okay, it's not open. Then face data and nearest face, I don't, maybe those are default stuff anyways. Nearest face, okay, and I don't know the rest, but we'll create that. Then we have the shrink wrap stuff. Outer vertex group, let's see what was the outer. Okay, so this is one, this is okay, all this is ready. For us, we have the shrink wrap, above surface, outside surface. Let's compare. So the muzzle here, okay, we have this, there's an armature modifier. He doesn't have a mirror modifier for the muzzle. This is, I think it's okay. This is optional. I prefer keeping the mirror modifier. Then here have, okay, we don't use preserve volume. We are with the multi modifier, maybe this helps because they are stacking, so I think that might be something to do with that. I cannot tell, you need to research on that. Never seen that option. And it didn't seem to, I know, my test to make any change, so maybe it's, yeah, no, I have no idea. Above surface and outside surface. Oh, this should be outside surface. So let's see if it's very similar, so I don't think it will make any difference. Wait, what was? okay, I don't remember what that we'll use here on the file here. So above surface, outside surface. All right, that's above surface. See, nothing changed here, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, let's replicate this. Then here I'm using. Let's see the target vertex group. He is using outer target, so it's something here. Wave paint mode. Okay, everything maximum, but excludes gradually the lips, the mouth, the lips. I think this is. And the inner, okay, we're gonna see that. So this is outer. Subdivision has no target, so that's fine. First subdivide, then shrink wrap, then first subdivide, then shrink wrap. These values are the same. Let's just check. I think the inner is perhaps used for this one. Inner, maybe, yeah, maybe this is a different setting here for the mouth, but I'm not going too much in this one, so you see it's different here. The two here are above surface. They use a different vertex group. Inner, yeah, so this is another approach for the old mouth, the mouth flat. So I'm not going to this, but it should be just adapted. Oh, actually, I remember this is used with inversion. Okay, while this is not inversion. So it's the same thing, folks. It's just a different way to do this. And for some reason, the other was above surface, but you see that doesn't seem to do anything. In my opinion, this is, yeah, doesn't, maybe on, yeah, that's it. No, never mind. We're not going to be checking too much this. And then finally, if we check here, okay, shrink wrap, all that is set. Outer, we need to compare if we, how is our vertex group here for the modifier. Actually, I probably, no, it's here. It was, so we just have this. So yeah, red for the lips. So I'm using the exclude method, but we must be very careful about that, because this will include if your head is not separated from the, if your muzzle is not separated of the head of the rest of the body, this will include all the body to shrink wrap to the muzzle goes. So this also has happened. So this is not good actually in most cases. Actually, it is not explained here, but I had to separate my character from the body because it was shrink wrapping all the body of my character into the muzzle, the ghost muzzle. Here, however, there is no inversion. So, and it's outer. So it's just this mesh that is selected, right? That is wave painted, that is shrink wrapping. So not the mouth, not anything else, just what is marked. So it's dangerous to use the inversion, but because this character has everything separated apparently, this is why he can do the inversion with this. It will invert, then everything there would be marked, would be affected by red, including whatever follows, the body follows. It's not, but if the head, the muzzle is separated, it's the mouth, all this thing is separated as it is now, then it's safe. If your character is made out of parts like robots or some rigs, I don't like very much that, so this is why I think we need to reassess here. I'll have to make this change anyway, so currently I have this wave paint here, but what I want to shrink wrap is the opposite. So the problem is that I don't know how to invert the wave painting. So I'll have to do it like, yeah, I'm not doing that right now, but that's, so I would have to paint everything there in red, and then this will become black. Maybe there's an operator for that. Level, smooth, limit, total, invert. Oh, aha, there you go. I didn't know that. So this is what I would need, except that we need to take off some waves there. Let's protect. So now I don't want this anymore, and so now we are back to what is safe. This means that now I can reconnect this mesh to my character. I can actually, but let's just fix that for the mouth, for the lips. So I think I need to get this. Alright, this protection layer. Let's get on wave paint mode, and let's shift K. Yeah, let's shift K that. Now let's reduce this, and now then let's this way actually. Let's shift K on some very small waves here. Then we let's do here, shift K that, then we reduce, then we shift K 0 already, and there we go. I don't need that, and then we have solved this problem. This means that now I can probably get Nixo back to her entire body connected with, so she is here, body, and we want to, so this is the eyes, they are parented to the armature apparently. Let's see, no parented. Okay, this is old stuff. No. Now I need to just pick this, actually not gonna parent, we're just gonna join this mesh here to the mouth, not the muzzle, the mouth. So Control J, and so unless she has got some yeah, we can probably delete these things. Let's get her to join with the mouth, right, the active. And of course I need to reconnect the mesh, so now the body is not shrink wrapping to the muzzle accidentally. Now we can retake this mirror, this stuff here, and so this shrink wrap only affects this. Okay, now this is regular, this is okay, and then here the muzzle we don't want to be showing, and we need to, yeah, we have to work on that part later. Let's reconnect this mesh, but this is not something for this particular this is the eye. The eye is, I don't know where is, oh, it's here. So it's parented to the armature with, I don't know its relations. No, it's not parented to anything, so anyways, it stays there. That's fine for now. Well, let's parent to the, yeah, this, then no, the armature with the bone selected here, then here, and parent to bone. Alright, so this means that, okay, there's no wave painting on the head, but this is what is happening. It's already good. Okay, let's fix now the data transfer modifier to be the last thing. You're like using the ghost muzzle, yes, and the ghost muzzle, yes, it will do this automatic right setting for us, but we need probably to have some posing to prevent some, yeah, the mesh is being disorganized in some ways that it's not exactly clear for me why, but I think it's wave painting now because we checked everything. Maybe some retakes on the muzzle itself, but in principle what is supposed to do it is doing, so we can do, so this will be more matter of retakes. But let's now go for the, now for this apparently it's better to do with a with the rest position binding stuff, so that what we need to do, why I'm showing these bones like this? This is atypical. Wait, I have two armatures? I separated armatures accidentally? I think I've separated armatures and got one parented to the other. No, no, this is just some extra thing, I think. Yeah, something wrong. Okay, so let's go for the last step, then it's the data transfer modifier. So to be sure I won't be suffering with the stuff, let's get this here, and let's get, okay, I've been streaming for too long, so I'm getting confused here. So add data transfer modifier. Now let's follow the steps of this stuff here. Should be pretty simple. Now I'm familiar enough with that. So muzzle, source muzzle, what is this? Object transform, evaluate source of this mesh in global space. Okay, might be for avoiding adaptation problems. We want real life stuff. Okay, it's there by default, so that's good. Source muzzle. So yeah, source muzzle. Then replace, I think it will be replace there's vertex group mouth hole. Is this exactly the, no, this is the mouth flat. We don't want the mouth flat, we want this, so it stays active, it stays the last. Sometimes we apply this for cloth rigging, and this is not the case. So mouth hole, alright. So we need to see for the mouth mesh, what is this mouth hole vertex group. It seems to be, yeah, mouth hole. Okay, so I don't know what is this about. We don't have this kind of bag of the mouth interior, but we can make it. You see, I don't know what it is. Yeah, there's, this is problematic because we haven't wave painted that, and I know that this appears for the muzzle. No, the muzzle doesn't have this. The mouth flat has. Okay, so the mouth has. So there is some wave painting of that. Let's. So this object is connected to the. This is not necessary to be done, but many riggers do it. I'm not familiar very much with this concept. It can be separated, I think, too. This one, but let's try this, right? So let's see. The problem is that I cannot assess which are its wave painting. We need to do it bone by bone, so this is a bit annoying. Let's check. Okay, there's another way to check this. So inner, out. Okay, this is exclude. Okay, head. So the head has some influence there, especially in the back, but then it starts losing weight. Okay, mouth rotation, no. Mouth position. Mouth position, I think, is the bone here. So the mouth position has influence, like in the middle part. Okay, makes sense. It will drag this part and not so much the. Okay, so it's a ring idea. Lip up. Then we see that the lip up, the lips also have influence in this stuff all around, all surrounding it. So regular stuff, more like in the front region. So very logical thing here. No kind of. And cheekbones could have to avoid certain imperfections, but actually no, it's, and mouth hole has got everything. Alright, so there isn't though a mouth hole bone, so this is more like a modifier vertex group. So that said, let's create this mouth hole thing for our character. I will start by hiding some vertices here. Then yes, we need to yeah, we hide some stuff here. We can also hide the eyes, right? And we can try to develop this here. So we'll make a very simplified version though. So pick this. Let's see, make sure don't have proportional editing on. All right, get this, expand, extrude, expand. Can smooth this thing also, these faces. I see there I've made mistakes, so let's go back. This clipping of the mirroring. Okay, let's do again. Extrude on Y. What's happening? It's going crazy. No, it's just okay. Now let's scale this. I'm doing it normally. Okay, so global. We can smooth, yes, put it like that. Apparently the orientation of this is, yeah, we can change the orientation of this so it starts to match. Yeah, let's give it some faces. Very irregular stuff here that is happening. Okay, now it's better. We need to make some subdivisions though. But first, let's give them a different I think I've ruined that thing. So actually, let's do it again. I think I've done it wrong for the lips, or maybe, yeah, this is dangerous extrusion because there are some waves from, yeah, that'll take some time to fix that. We need to reassess stuff, but let's just give this another color material. It could be something like that, right? Just to differentiate. Now we start to, even that would be better than extrusion. We don't, yeah, start clipping again. Let's use proportional editing, although no, it's clipping again, so let's try. The angle I have here is also not very. Extrude GY, extrude, okay, let's do that. Scale, extrude GY, for some reason I cannot extrude that way. Okay, let's started clipping again. Yeah, we don't need to make this two more. Because we just want the main idea. So let's do this and actually bridge edge loops. There you go. No, nothing happened. So we need to do this more like. Yeah, we could have made at least for some of the vertices. Now it's very hard to select everything here, but there we go. We got, and perhaps you can make some subdivision here to get it better. And here we can use probably proportional editing. We get some smoothing this. Make it more rounded, something like that should, and then this we can probably expand this also, and here probably this is horrible, something like that. Okay, now this is feasible, even though it's like apparently we got some mistake there. Yeah, clipping again. Okay, this time we don't gonna delete anything, we're just going to solve clipping by using our technique. Rip vertex, why this is locked like that. Okay, then this connects at last. Cannot rip vertex there, so this is something crazy about this vertex, so let's delete that. And there's of course, so dissolve edge, then this delete edge. Or why don't we just dissolve this at once, and there we go. Yeah, that's it. Then we can pick all this without proportional editing. Let's go and try clipping again. There we go. Then we have some issue here that we need to make sure that this yeah, so this is why I didn't want to make these things, but it ended up being much worse than I thought. If I can now, I will try to get this thing. Wow. this mesh is all bad. Okay, let's do this. Now if you see this with this option here, the face orientation, these normals actually are crazy. So the red, we need to do something about this. So recalculate inside, invert. Okay, this is the correct way, so was important. So maybe that's why I was having, so let's fix that. Now of course this, I think I've seen a tutorial about melt that the guy do this. Yes, what this exactly? So I didn't catch the message at the time I was doing. Perhaps this extrusion, right? Here we need to wave paint, but first let's see. Hopefully there's very little waves here. Let's just see. Yes, we need to hide mirror. Let's see which, if this thing has got, okay, so this is probably bad. We need to work some, before I do this, let's just work on this stuff here. So this is pretty simple, just approximate this, bring it, yeah, probably try to get it further, and yeah, something like that. Also this, this is already the lips. This is the problem. It's a geometry problem that I've made myself, because I didn't plan for this thing, and now I see that we need this thing to have all the things of the rig, the sonic melt rig, to test, right? We need this to be able to make the final investigation over that, even that data transfer modifier, right? So we want to, yeah, then we have some interpenetrations there. We're gonna move this. Okay, we need to be clipping this. So let's perhaps pick this. It's very, very difficult to work inside the mesh, right? So that's why. Yeah, this should do. So yeah, that's better. So there's this sort of thing, that funneling thing, right? We need to be careful. And all right, now clipping, right? Because I'm not sure this mesh is doing fine. There's might be something wrong about it. So, and this is always happening. Let's do some cleanup. Maybe there's something wrong. Mesh cleanup, merge by distance. No problem. All right, good. Now let's go back here and let's get back the, yes, the wave painting. So turn this off for now. We are gonna check. So melt rotation, melt position. So this, we remember that should have around the ring there. Lip up, okay, they got, but we need to correct. This is very bad. I have an idea already. Head also, we need to get more than the back. So okay, let's start with the head. So this will be pretty simple. We are going to just pick this and start doing this, and if there is any waves here in these lips, we take them off. We need the okay, I don't have this bone, the requirement to have the bone selected for this, so let's just do a fragment. We see that there are wrong waves, right? So let's take off waves from here. Then as we reduce, maybe until here, I don't remember until where it goes for the head. Let's see. This is actually important. We don't know how this will relate to the interpenetrations. So apparently there's a gap, and it's, yeah, there's some irregularity there, but that's it. It's very low waves until it's reached the yeah, there's some irregularities there, but in principle we see that it's black, so at some point in the middle there won't be any waves, so I'm gonna make it regular. So I think this will be the place. So we start with a max of 1, and then we just start to blur, and actually instead of blur, smearing that way, and then we can just blur everything, and that should do. So that's pretty simple. Then there's the mouth hole, which we can use already. So not def, but mod mouth hole. It's mouth interior actually for me. So this is going to be max red, and perhaps with some blurring in this part. I think that was how it was conceived. Then we're gonna check if that's the case. So here, no bones for this, so you need to go directly here and look for mouth hole. Yes, yeah, so it doesn't cross the lips, so this seems to be important. So let's go back here. No, not the third blender, open. So we get here. Apparently if we expand, okay, this will be something. Yeah, I think this is regular, should work. Yeah, just in case, actually, let's invert here. Yeah, the selections is going crazy, so let's get this, and let's take off these waves, so just in case. And then we want here, and yeah, let's leave it like that. So now next we need something to do with this. There are still more bones, so there are these. Yeah, so here it's just this. We can use this as a selection, but now we pick this. So we reduce the selection, we can probably, yeah, this will take some time. I maybe I need to pause, but I need to conclude this at once. So sorry about that, folks. We'll have to get. I'll try to be faster though at this point because we are nearly concluding. So here I think it will be something like that. So it's like a reproduction of what you have for the lips, so yeah, that should do. Then we can actually have an idea. Now it will have complications, but at least for respecting this threshold we can do this in different attempts. So I have this, which is actually, yeah, no, it's not working. So okay, so there's a layer here. So I see. So I see what we'll do. We don't touch the lips. We just want this. And so these are two edge rings. And we just blur the last one. So this is what was confusing me. So there. Now we know that's exactly the threshold, but we need now to do this for everyone. So we get here. We can already see that we need, the problem is that if I invert here, there's too much thing inside, so I cannot use this inversion. Yeah, but at least we can do something here. Then we get here. Yeah, no, I'm doing it in the wrong order. So first I know what I need to do. So in principle it was this. We can hide, I should have thought of this before. So hide this, hide everything there. Then we need this. Yeah, let's start from here. We'll delete with this selection all the waves from each of the bones. So starting with this, which was already done, so this is fine and blurred. Then this Shift K 0, then 1 Shift K 0, 1 Shift K 0, and then here. Then the rest is symmetrized. Then for this we can also do this for must be on blur. Okay, so what we can do here is just make a different ring selection. So we get perhaps this one in the middle. We're going to Shift K1 in this time, and then we just expand and like just blur the thing should do. And yeah, the middle can get some stronger things there, and that, yeah, this that part. That's it. So that's for the mill. So on the mouth now, just the mouth apparently is what is left. We need to do it for take this selection, then get here, and for these bones, okay, this was blurred, this we just blurred here where it's required. I'm gonna save there. Next, the side corner, then this, and now the last one, and I think there won't be any other. Finally, now let's go finally for, I think that's it, I didn't forget anything. So vertex group mount hole, mount interior for whatever reason, then we go on here, we check mount, we go for the object modifiers, data transfer, mount hole inverted. So I'm not sure what is supposed to do, but let's, this is for UVs anyways, so there's no information about using this. So face corner data only, then UVs only, UVs all layer by name is face data. Okay, so nearly completed here. So face data corner, UVs nearest facing mapping. I don't remember, this data seems to be slightly different panel. Nearest face interpolate, okay, mapping nearest face. Oh, there's face data, but it's below. Okay, then you nearest face interpolated. We'll see. Problem is that I don't have UV texture, so I don't know if this is gonna do any difference. Gonna check anyways, but we can try to create a very easy texture for that anyways. We can compare. I know how to do that fast. So all layers by name, then nearest face interpolated, then face data, nearest face, and topology mapping. I don't think this has any. Yeah, so I think that's it, folks. Let's see if there is UV textures in this character. So there will be face map, no, UV maps. There's UV set. We need to see the okay, let's see the shaders. So okay, there's some grid. Okay, now this is for grid shader. For yes, we need a grid shader. This is a, yeah, but this is the settings for a the checker thing, right? So okay, we need to find that, but anyways, let's see. UV, we don't have UVs here. Okay, so apparently this is just not about UV in this sense. It's just is that in Blender somewhere? So maybe we're gonna do it procedurally, if that makes sense. So here we I don't have light too, or if I have light, yeah, I have light. So let's see here then to finish this. Of course this will be appearing perhaps in, okay, I need the and of course I need the mirror modifier, right? Okay, why it's lagging so much? Maybe it has to do with this. Yeah, so this lags a lot my computer, so I don't know why. It's not the case there. Okay, now it's not lagging, so it was something strange. Maybe it just had to process on a first glance and then... Alright folks, so here this light is very badly positioned. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, this helps. So procedural, let's see, I want a checker thing, right? And that will be the last thing, folks. For we're gonna shader editor. I have some material here. This is the character is using, basically I think this one. Let's get the, I think he got that to the base color. Okay, this should be regular stuff. All material put out, and then I have this stuff with no, that I'm not too familiar with, but we're going to add I think a texture, checker texture, I think that's what is used. Of course it is scale okay, let's see, 100. Okay, let's see how this deforms. I think this should be enough. Maybe here we don't want this. I don't know if the right way to do it, folks, so yeah, probably I'm doing something wrong about all this. So this character is not UV unwrapped, but actually why can't I? I didn't saw any UV there, so it's strange. So yeah, let's not do this. So apparently we are getting some, yeah, bad UVs there, and maybe this tells something about the reason why there was we are having some trouble regarding certain deforms. Yeah, so let's see if this, okay, and as we turn this on, it starts to lag. A lot, yeah, on the material, even on the solid. So data transfer, yeah. So yes, okay folks, that's it. I admit I don't know, I was scared about that, so I don't, without it, I don't know how to develop onto that. It will be another problematic, like shading, UV texturing, and but the documentation there, I must be doing something wrong. Maybe it has to do with, but the rig itself shows that it works. So that is, folks. I think I've seen a travel mode. Okay, the same old statement. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you this was helpful, though very long, but at least only 2 videos, and we got through nearly everything that this universal sonic mount rig had to offer. And on the I mean the beginning. Yes, welcome, Ash. So I think now you are able to reproduce this, except for the data transfer that I have no idea how to make it work. But I think even without the procedural, right? Yeah, might have some problems with the lighting, but let's see. I don't know how to make solutions for that. Might need to make more, investigate. Perhaps someone knows about this. And but if you pick plain colors, right, usually it seems that wouldn't have, maybe, right, no big problem. Yeah, but if there are texture, yeah, certainly the mesh itself. So I think this is wave painting, and maybe spline skinning could help for example this bone. Maybe I could have more, yeah, maybe this mesh geometry, which is a bit bad for that too. So many things about related to rigging, but it works in the fundamentals work apparently of the rig part, not so much of the UVs, and that's it. When I figured out, I would love to see a full on tutorial. Yeah, but this is like not the kind of, I'm not going to try to reproduce this whole rig like I did it, right, mostly, right. Then the details, oh, this artist does like this or like that, right, you know. There are some choice here I've learned from that I would try to, now that I know way more how it was done, and what I did different, and what I didn't know, what I did know, and what can be done better, perhaps even. Yeah, I think that some things can be done differently at least and work. So it depends. So I'm not gonna make a tutorial on this universal sonic mount rig because there's already one. But these lives will be like that. But with this content, I think anyone can get it through. At least there's more information about how it works, right? So that was the goal, and for me also to see if what I could achieve with that I couldn't achieve on my own rig. So currently my own rig is like that. This will be interesting, but it's not completed, of course, but maybe you haven't seen. So here I have, but you helped me a lot. Yes, welcome. This is very I know I know how it feels to see for example some cool tutorial, and then I cannot reproduce this because, right, new in the field, or there are techniques that are too complicated, or there's not enough in-depth explanation, right, on how to do every little part. So this is what I've been doing. There are many things that the major problem here is the mount interior rig, and of course the lips that are too realistic, but in principle you see what I can do here already. It's not very smooth also, so but what is going wrong is because of the character design is not as circular, so I still need to find, and I'm still having of course some deforms here. I need to find better, yeah, for the tip of the nose, but I can make a lot of crazy things already with I just need to get it better, and but what I'm most concerned about is about the the lips, because these lips are not very cartoony the way I want. So this is why I was using spline skinning for that, right? I can shape some stuff, but it's not. In the end, the lips are too realistic. So I intend now to try with. Before I dump this system, which was actually very accurate. For yeah, we have this morph. So this maybe I maintain. I don't know. It will depend. But I was having problem shaping the lips right in the way I want. They are too realistic here, in my opinion, for this character design, and there are some mouth corner issues too. So, but it gets at least some amount of deforms to the side we can get. Then the control rig has some issues also, and many of the interpenetrations are actually with some parts of the mouth interior, but we can fix this with just but it's still not yeah, it's crazy what this rig is doing, right? But we can get already. So there's many things that I took from the ideas from the sonic mouth rig, universal sonic mouth rig. But I want to get. Yeah, so that's it. I don't want to copy everything. I have my own ways, and I think every artist is like that. We have to invent a bit on top of what we learn, right? So it's like, but if I complete this in a way that is cartoonic, then yes, I'd make a tutorial about this, and then of course it will share the concepts, many concepts of the universal sonic mouth rig, and so it will be a Frankenstein thing, right? A mix between tutorials, so, but it will be something completely new, right? Not completely. It will be, the output will be different. So there is this concept of here how the mouth interior moves, but I have other stuff going on here that were not present in the so you can have stuff like that. You didn't have this kind of craziness in that, so this is different, but it can be done also to the. So there are new stuff here, and these were done independently from the sonic mouth, but there was this idea of these bones, the mouth, right, tracking, moving, making the mouth interior stuff move together. So this was crazy. This I got from the, and then I built on top of it some more features. Okay, so yeah, you mean about building a cartoons, let's see, when you figure, but I'll get to go for it with these lives. I'll watch everything later. Okay, no, I don't need this. What I doing with the mouth, I don't recommend you or anyone to do it unless you're really curious, because these are like work in progress, like to learn some workflows of someone that already knows a bit of rigging. So it's just more like it's not tutorial, right? But I make tutorials too. It's just that it takes more time for me. I'm not being focusing, but eventually I want to make a tutorial for mouth rigging. The purpose of the live stream is not the same as a tutorial, right? So that's why. And yes, there's not enough content, I agree, and being artist is hard. Yes, very hard, artist in general. I believe now with all this you might be able to make your own universal sonic mouth rig or something equivalent. So hope you succeed. If you have any question, then you can ask me. I will still be learning anyway from this melt rig because I need to improve, and now I have new ideas for the lips, for example, that I want to develop. Some of my messages didn't show up to you because I swear they go, that's strange, right? Sometimes chat could, yeah, there might be connection issues, I don't know, bugs. But thanks for watching, and so eventually, yes, I want to make a tutorial for a good short, if as short as possible, but only when I complete a good version of this thing. And then of course I'll mention the reference I got from the most important ones, right? And Universal Sonic Mount Rig will be one of them. So that's it, folks. I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and happy blending. Take care. See you soon. We completed our revision here. Good luck in your projects. See ya, folks.